All right, Leslie, so here's the exterior. This is Green Street. Yeah, that blue house there, that's the one I had an apartment at. So anyways, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Oh, good, just doing a video tour of that place right there.
All right, cool.
Good place to live?
Yeah, I live upstairs. It's great.
All right, right
Best-
on, man.
Yeah, best decision I ever made was moving down here.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks, man.
Welcome.
So he's in this unit here that goes upstairs. Alrighty, you walk in and you've got a little living room area here. Really nice brick. All the brick throughout here is in pretty good shape, if not fantastic in some areas. But yeah, really pretty. You've got your wooden windows that, your little blind thingies. All right. Nice tall ceilings, I'd say about 10 feet tall, maybe even a smidge taller. And working pocket doors, which is neat. And then you have this room, which is kind of a dining room area, or at least that's how they have it set up with these lights. Again, more exposed brick. Yeah, you have these hanging lights there, as well as a couple of, little, almost like suspended track lighting. So this goes down into the basement, which we'll see in just a sec. And to our left here, little storage closet. I guess you could use it as a pantry if you wanted to. And then to the right, you have the kitchen. So, the layout makes a lot of sense. If you're coming home with groceries, you can come straight through that door. Your back door here, just park on the street. There's a spot right there, for instance. Parking is usually not an issue. And because I live around the corner, so I know. But yeah, spot there, another spot or two over there. Throughout the week, it's really not a big deal. It's a little tougher on weekends, though, or if some big events happening down here. But generally speaking, you get in the habit of doing any grocery shopping or anything that you need to go out for and lose your spot during the week when you're likely to get it back. But nice gas stove here. None of these appliances are new, but they're certainly not old, There is some damage to the countertops here, but the countertops are honestly probably something you want to change anyways. Not that I hate them, but, it clashes a good deal with the other small tile here. So, and that tile goes all the way up there, which is wild. But anyways, cute little kitchen. It's not big. This is not a place where you make a whole lot of meals and things like that, but you have tons of restaurants around the corner. So, it is cool though. Put your beer in there. You can peep at it whenever you want to. There we go. All right. And then over here, we have bathroom. Look at that. It looks like they're including a bidet. So number 2 in style. All right, there we go. Nothing too fancy, but nice and clean. And the bedroom. Okay. So, by the way, Green Street, which is the front-facing street, that one's a little busier of a street. It's not a busy street by any means. There aren't any of those streets in the Oregon District, but this one's very quiet. It's a one-way. That house is owned by my friend Shane. Anyways, so it looks like they got a TV mount in here. It's actually a really good layout, I gotta say. Really good layout. if you're coming in with groceries or stuff or running an errand, you know, you might come in through that door. If you're bringing guests through, you know, you come through here, living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, and then the bedroom's kind of closed off. So the layout does make sense. And then going downstairs, so you have this little landing area down here. You know, maybe turn this into a little bar area. I think that'd be cool. You know, maybe put like a little bar right here. You know, it looks like they got cable down here too, so you could run a little TV up maybe. And I think that would be kind of neat. That would be a neat use of this space. And they have these little seats, I guess. I don't know if I would get rid of those or, you know, whatever. But, and then in here, they have another kind of like entertainment room. But you could count this technically as a bedroom if you busted this egress out just a little bit more. And I'm not sure what kind of hoops you'd have to go through to do that, but it's already halfway there, and you wouldn't have to add like a ladder or anything, you know, maybe just a step or something to get up there. But anyways, just an idea. Would add a lot of value, certainly, and wouldn't make a terrible bedroom. It's very dry down here, doesn't smell like mold or anything like that. And of course, we've been having like ridiculous rain lately. So, you know, if we were going to see any moisture issues, I'd expect to see them. But I do not see any, which is great. So, anyways, a little storage area under the stairs. Nothing crazy. And then in here, a little step up. You have your laundry. All right, and then over here, furnace. It's gas. And this train looks to be maybe 10 years old or so. Maybe a little newer. And water heater over here, also gas. And as far as I can tell, everything looks pretty good. Flue angle is correct for the hot water. And it looks like this was installed in 2013. So this one, I don't know. Gas water heaters do last longer, but you might get a home warranty on this guy, on this house. You may end up with a, like, you know, not a free water heater, but, you know, because you're paying for the home warranty, but whatever. All right. All right. In here, just a little storage area, you know, like not much else to it. It's, you know, a little rough in here. You don't want to really do anything. But for storing your bike or something like that, you know, Christmas decorations, you know, anything related to the Airbnb, you know, great spot. You know, you actually already have a lock on there.